Welcome to the Light, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
In the wise words of The Rock, finally! The MCU has come back to theaters. Hi everyone, thank you very much for joining with me for another episode today. Look, we're going to be talking about Black Widow, we're going to be talking about Loki, I've got a game review for you guys and some gamer news, but look, I need to get Black Widow off my chest first, so we're going to start with that because after 16 months, 16 long months, there is finally an MCU back on the big screen, and I could not be more happier. I got to see that this past weekend, and look, when speaking to Mark and Dean, my friends, I think I was more excited just to see an MCU movie, just to have a ticket saying that you're going to see an MCU movie. To be honest with you, I didn't care if the Black Widow was going to be shit or bad. It was just going to be the fact, just going back for the experience. I love going to the movies. It's one of my favorite pastimes, just the experience, just seeing on a big screen, being in theater, big picture people, just the experience. And when you go from seeing one every second or third weekend with your mates to nothing, not because of anything you've done or any restrictions that you have in seeing them, but just because of the fact that out of nowhere there happens to be a global pandemic and you can't go is kind of hard, especially when it's something you look forward to. So I'm glad that finally that the MCU movies are back, and after Black Widow in September, we've got Shang-Li, and then 2 months later we've got Spider-Man, so the ball is rolling, and I could not be more excited, and I cannot be more excited to talk about it with you guys. So, Black Widow. Alright, look, as I said, I didn't care if the story was going to be shit or great. I was just going to go in with medium expectations, I would say, me being a Marvel and all. And look, as a movie review, I think that Black Widow is a solid, from start to finish, it is a solid action flick. Like, it is beat for beat, it's pretty solid all the way through. There didn't seem to be any dips or what's the time? How much longer has this got? Oh, this is getting really long. The last time I can remember that I actually went to a theater and thought, fuck, this is really long and I'm bored out of my mind, is Transformers 2, Revenge of the Fallen. That you could have trimmed like an hour off that damn movie. That's probably the last movie I can think of I've gone and seen, where I literally looked at my phone and thought, I'm happy to go home right now. Like, this is just a yawn and absolutely fucking boring. That was a good timing for a yawn. But Black Widow didn't have any of those bits. It's solid, and for anyone that's an MCU fan or just enjoys a good action flick, go ahead. Go see Black Widow right now. You won't be disappointed in that aspect. It's really good it's really good as in, compared to, I will admit, we've just watched Endgame, Spider-Man, WandaVision, Loki, Captain Falcon, and Winter Soldier. It's nice to see a more grounded story from Marvel, pulling it back, pulling away majority of the CGI, no space, no gauntlet, coming right back down. More like Civil War and Winter Soldier vibes. It, in the first I'd say in the first 15 minutes, that intro, 15 minutes in the intro, it doesn't feel like, to me, it didn't feel like an MCU movie. Like, it felt like a more gritty movie. Like, you could have ripped off the label of Black Widow and slapped in, like, John Wick, Bourne Ultimatum, for James Bond. Like, it was, as in, you wouldn't, at 15 minutes into the movie, which I think a lot of people understand what I'm talking about, is that you wouldn't think it's an MCU movie. Like, it doesn't have the glitz, the glamour, that nice polished look. Like, it's a lot gritty, and it's kind of like, if you really think about it, it's kind of dark about the whole story of Black Widow and what they're trying to tell. So that 15 minutes, that really hooked me. I'm like, all right, they're going for a different vibe. All right, let's see where this goes. Overall, the story is snug between Civil War and Infinity War. Now, probably a negative I am going to say about it is the fact that I think it should have come out. I think it should have come out a few years ago, like before Endgame. I feel like it should have either come out between Civil War and Infinity War, or Civil War and Endgame. Like, I feel like it should have snug fit right in there in the movie release timeline. I think in aspect it would have also given you a little bit more emotional weight to what happened at Endgame, because you feel that watching this. Every family moment or like touching moment you see in this movie, in your back of your mind, you're like, well, I hope they don't say, oh, I'll see you later, or until next time, because, spoiler alert, she's dead. She ain't coming back. She ain't coming. That's probably a negative I will say about it, is that you do have that that feeling in the back of your head, like, all right, technically, after you watch Black Widow, then you watch Infinity War, and then you watch Endgame. So technically, there's 2 sequels to this movie in order. Another positive about it is the fact I feel like everyone's performance, and Scarlett Johansson did very well. They all carried the movie very well. There was no character I really thought, who gives a shit about you kind of aspect. But I think Scarlett Johansson did very well. It's kind of like, it's a damn shame that she only gets one crack at this. Like, I do understand she's been playing Black Widow for the past 10 odd years. But if she was still alive, she could carry another sequel, like, her own franchise, 1, 2, and 3. I think that she could do that. Obviously, if the story permitted, but I feel like she could keep doing that. She did very well. It's kind of sad that you won't see her character again. Like, this was her last hurrah. This was her last, last performance. So you see her in full peak Black Widow. Loved her backstory. Loved going back into that kind of seedy Russian underbelly spy movie, spy action movie. It's solid. I think it's done very well. Solid action sequences. Look, probably another negative I will say about it is that some of the fight scenes, like after watching Loki, and you see like nearly the CGI in that show is nearly flawless. So when you go watch this movie, there's a few fight scenes or close quarters you're like, that could have been done a lot better. Or look, they should have done a little bit more polishing. But it's only certain bits. Majority of it, it's totally fine. But after watching Loki, you kind of expect it to be, especially with being the type of show Loki is, which is a lot of CGI, and then you watch Black Widow, which is only bits and pieces. You're like, they could have done better. That's probably another negative. But love the character arc coming down, coming to an end like that. Seeing more of a backstory, really diving in. As you finally find out what happened in Budapest. Like, I hope I completely understand the fact this movie was made to give Black Widow her solo movie, but I feel deep down Kevin Feige was like, look, we need to tell people what happened in Budapest. Like, we've teased it too much. So glad we finally found that out. That answered that big overall question that we found that has been hanging over since 2012 Avengers. So that was a good look. Taskmaster. Look, good villain. It was good concept. I was kind of expecting it to be someone else under that mask, but who it was revealed to be, I was like, all right, yeah, makes sense with the story. Why it would be her? Why would it be the daughter? And all that, why it comes in together. But the villain overall, look, it's Marvel. The MCU doesn't have the best. Look, I will admit, Marvel doesn't have the best villain track record. But the flip side of that coin, every single one that has been memorable has hit it out of the park to the point of no return. Loki, Killmonger, Thanos, all fantastic. Hitting it out of the park, which I hope we get more characters like that to come in the next movies to come. But Black Widows, look, give it some time, and I give it some time, and I don't think anyone will remember. Like, everyone will remember everything else. Everyone's going to remember Black Widow's sister, who she did a solid performance. I want to know more of, I want to see where she goes with the other Black Widows, where that's going to go. The after credit scene was good. Spoiler alert. Look, it's always going to be spoilers. Look, there's so many reviews out there of spoilers. I'm just going to read. The fact it's Val, who's lying to her, is saying that Clint, Hawkeye, killed her sister. Because the after credits scene is actually after Endgame, because Black Widow's sister goes to her grave to do her wishes, and Val from Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier rocks up. Now, the funny thing is, obviously we know that Black Widow was meant to come out before Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier, so it was meant to be all more like, oh my god, who's this? Instead of, we know her from Captain Falcon. Which she seems to be like the anti-Nick Fury, or the flip coin of Nick Fury. Instead of assembling the team of the Avengers, it looks like it's possibly going to be making a villain team called the Thunderbolts, which looks like it's being invaded that, which is going to be very interesting, because obviously we know that technically there is no more Avengers. Well, there is some, but there is no solid team. So I'm very curious because Kevin Feige said there will be another Avengers movie. There will be Avengers 5, but it's going to be almost a completely different lineup, except for everyone who's left over, which is going to be very interesting. One peak movie of that will be very interesting is Black Panther 2, who will be taking up that mantle, which is another discussion for another day, which I will be diving into. R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman, you have been taken from this world way too soon. You did a fantastic job as Black Panther, and it's a real down shame the fact that you won't be able to continue on, and we can't see the character growth in the same vein as Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson. Back to Black Widow. So the after credits scene sets that up, which she's confirmed to be in the Hawkeye TV series. So that's going to be cool, because she's obviously going to be hunting him down like a dog, because he killed my sister. Now, I was thinking, how would Val know the fact that what happened on Volmir with Clint? Like, Clint only obviously told the intimate group of the Avengers on what happened up there with the Soul Stone. So it's gonna be curious how it's gonna be curious how did she come to that conclusion. Then again, look, you went that way. Only one of you came back. One ain't coming back. Obviously, if everyone's going to go straight to and go, oh, look what you killed her straight up, which is obviously understandable, which I'm looking forward to. Look, overall, Black Widow, solid movie. Look, it's a solid movie. It kind of sucks the fact that out of the entire 2-hour movie, the only part that actually progresses the MCU forward is a 2-minute cut after credits scene at the end. You know, that's the only thing at that entire thing that progresses the story forward, or what to look forward to. And if they make a Black Widow 2 with Black Widow's sister, I'm down for that. Yep, sign me up. I will take my money. Obviously, we can't have one with Scarlett Johansson, so yeah. So overall, solid movie. Go see it, and I promise you guys, I'll stop talking about it. The excitement to go and see those types of movies again. I'm over the moon. It was so much fun. Sorry. Like, usually when people do a podcast, people obviously, they say they're sipping water or sipping Powerade. I'm a classy gentleman. I will sit here. I will drink nice Irish whiskey Jameson while I talk to you guys. That's, put the water aside. That's my feel. So that's Black Widow. Moving on to Loki. Look, Loki, solid episode. Still beat for beat. Still pushing to the season finale, which is this week, episode 6. Oh, like it's annoying. There's only 6 episodes. Like, I just want to see more. I hope there's more. But thoughts and prayers. So Loki episode 5. Now that there is so many Easter eggs in that episode. The Thanos copter, the Living Tribunal, Yellow Jacket's head, Frog, Thor as a frog, which apparently I'm pretty sure they've actually confirmed that 3 seconds of dialogue actually is Chris Hemsworth, which, alright, cool. I'm still, but I bet you he still got paid like $20 million for that. Frog, and we saw classic Loki, Kid Loki, Croc Loki. I'm sure there's a crocodile hunter meme out there with the fact he's chasing Loki if he ever came to Australia. Solid performances. It was an awesome episode. I was the latter half of that episode, I was on the edge of my seat to what's going to happen. Richard E. Grant did a fantastic job as classic Loki. That, where he's using his magic to bring up all of Asgard as an illusion, was fantastic. Like, that latter half of that episode is worth watching just alone if you cut out the first half. Like, it was really good, and as I said, the CGI is on point all the way through that. President Loki was good. Kind of darn shame it was only for a few seconds until he got his hand chopped off, which is obviously another reference to Empire Strikes Back Star Wars, because the fact that Kevin Feige is a huge Star Wars fan. And if you don't believe me, go back and watch Phase 2 of the MCU movies and tell me how many people lose their hand. and come back to me. No, I thought that was good. I liked the little intimate bits with Sylvia and Loki. It's really funny because I still think to myself, oh, you're in love with yourself. And I didn't actually think about this until Mark, or it was Dean, one of them pointed out the fact that he's holding the blanket, and obviously he's trying to do the cute, cuddly thing with her and be like, I'm cold, would you like a blanket? And do all the get close, intimate part, and then you realize that, wait a minute, you're frost giants. You don't feel the cold. And you're like, so Sylvia knew Loki was full of shit. He just wanted to get close. Look, and it was a good episode overall. I'm pumped for next week. There's so many theories that have come out about whose castle that is, what's behind that, and look, it's as much as I think it was Kang the Conqueror. There's another theory which is Doom. Another theory which, look, very well could be true. I won't be disappointed if it is. It was more like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. I've still enjoyed this whole series. Is the fact it's actually another Loki, the first Loki doing this entire thing, which would bring me back to the point where I said the fact that, this deep in the TV series, just like WandaVision, it wasn't someone new, it wasn't like Mephisto. They used an existing character that we've already seen. And we have already seen like 20 different versions of Loki. Lucky 21 won't be much surprise. So that's another thing that I've seen, the fact that it could be another Loki, which, as I said, I won't be disappointed. It's just I have so many questions, and it's like this week's really big for Marvel because Black Widow's out, Loki's out, and it's gonna be hard because after Loki's done, Black Widow's already out. September you have to wait for Shang-Li. What is coming out between that, which another TV series which you guys should get pumped for, is the What If series. If you haven't gone to see the trailer, go look it up right now. It's Marvel's What If series based on the MCU, where obviously the $1 million question, what if Gamora was trying to get the Infinity Stones, that she was actually trying to fulfill her dad's prophecy and getting all the stones, correcting Half-Life. What if Ultron was the good guy? What if Peggy took this serum and not Steve Rogers? What if Steve Rogers became Captain America? One really cool one, actually, in the trailer you have a look at is the fact that Tony Stark is saved by Killmonger, obviously in Afghanistan. Didn't think of that, but I'm pumped to see that. So that comes out in August. So that's going to be a little tidbit between Shang-Li. So I can't wait to see that and break that down for you guys, because that's going to be a lot of fun. As far as I do know, I think the only people in the MCU that haven't actually come back to voice their characters is Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, and Captain America. I think there's a fifth one, I think, that hasn't come back. But they're the ones that haven't... Yeah, so those ones aren't coming back. They're going to be revoiced or recast. But everyone else, I do believe, in the TV series has come back. Sadly, it is indeed the last time we get to see... last time we see the betrayal of Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. As Star-Lord, technically. Sadly, that is his last performance. He got to record the lines before he passed away, so that's you're definitely gonna feel that when watching it. So that's gonna be hard, but I'm pumped for it. But Loki. Look, it's Tom Hiddleston has done very well in this TV series. I can 100% see why that he signed up for this, even though his character, Loki died. I can see why he signed to the letter to do this. Like, you'd be silly not to. Depending on the character, this is how I do feel for actors. I feel like, I get it. Like, some people don't like the MCU. Some people don't like superhero movies. They feel like it's becoming like the Western movies. It's just everywhere. You want it to end. No one wants it anymore. And some people don't think it's repetitive, the same thing over and over again. But when you get squeezed like this, like you're silly not to, as an actor, you're silly not to take the role, because the fact that the amount of care and the detail they take, and the fact, unlike DC, you're going to be taken care of in whatever form your character is going to be in. Like, if it's going to be in for a small role or big role, like, it's fully break down for you. And, if I was an actor, I would throw myself at anything the MCU could offer to jump into. Obviously, a major role would be fantastic, but even minor. Like, Richard E. Grant is classic Loki. Like, he's only in it for one episode, but holy shit. The amount of like praise that he's getting for that, and he did a great job. And the funny thing, he's wearing tights. He's wearing green and yellow tights with a giant headpiece with horns on it. He did that fantastic. So I don't understand why people do knock about going to the MCU. Like, I would join in a heartbeat. Another fun tidbit is I was completely taken away when Loki, Loki, Tom Hiddleston Loki, goes up to Kid Loki and goes, "Well, what was your Nexus event?" And he turns around and says, "Oh, I killed Thor." I'm sorry, what was that? You killed Thor? Yep. Whoa. Holy shit. Was not expecting that. Obviously, there had to be a timeline where Loki finally did win and kill Thor. But the fact it was Kid Loki, like, holy shit. That I can see why that would create a Nexus event, and why you'd be chucked out of a sacred timeline. I do like how the fact it's all in this dead zone, if you will, as void. I love the fact it is indeed all Loki's. Like, they're the most troublesome character, human being, frost giant, Asgardian. In the entire timeline of people, they're a giant stain or like a pest in the whole timeline, sacred timeline. But I can see why killing Thor would create a Nexus event and fuck up everything. But Loki episode 6, I can't wait for that. I'm excited, and just ready for it. And when that's done, we go into What If. When that's done, we get on to Shang-Li, which I do hope, from the trailer, it could be like 3/4 post Endgame and a quarter in the past. Obviously, it's going to be doing like that because it's an origin story. But that's going to be one that's going to get the ball rolling, pushing forward on the MCU moving forward. And as I'm recording this, it's really annoying me now, the fact that where is Spider-Man 3 trailer? No Way Home. Where is it? Come on. Sony, stop giving us blue balls, please. We just want to know, is Tobey Maguire, is Andrew Garfield in it or not? Yes or no? I don't give a shit about anything else. Just say yes or no. Fuck. So we still haven't seen that. But that's all for Loki and Black Widow. My thoughts on Black Widow, Loki, What If series. Moving on. I do have a video game review. This is my first video game review, so bear with me, and I will have more to come. So, This particular one is a game I've been clocking a lot of hours for. Like I was up until about like last 2 nights. I've been up to like 3 o'clock playing this game just because I'm just trying to get through it. It's called Surviving the Aftermath. Look, it's an early access game. Currently, right now, it's on Steam, and currently it's on Xbox. Which is an aspect of Xbox I do like, is the fact they do give you these early access games regardless of what shape they're in. I wish PlayStation Sony would do that, but I completely understand why they don't do it, because it's like, if you want to publish a game, here is the platform that you can do it on. We just require a full functioning game, which Cyberpunk was like, yeah, this is fully functioning. Yeah, it's totally fine. Yep, no bugs, no glitches, buddy. Sony, it's all fine. It's 100% ready. Don't tell them it's a fully crap game and it's just buggy. What was that? Oh, nothing. Here's Sony, here's Cyberpunk. Look, as far as I do know from Cyberpunk right now, they've fixed a lot of the bugs and it's running a lot smoother. And I actually do like Cyberpunk, but that first month, it was trash. It was just like, it made me think of, what was it? Terrible Fallout 76. Now that, I'm pretty sure, is still garbage. It's not something that you should charge full price for, which I think is highway robbery. Highway robbery to charge a full game when the fact that it's broken. Like, look at WWE 2K20. Like, Sony was giving out refunds. I think Xbox did as well, because of the fact it's broken. Like, I understand there's time constraints. I do understand that there's a deadline, but the fact is, you can't just give out a game when it's full of crap and just go, oh yeah, we're just going to throw updates at it. Like, that's not how you stay with your fan base. That's not how, because with internet reviews, people talk so quickly, so people are going to know straight away if it's crap and they're not going to buy it, especially if it's broken. I miss the days where you'd pick up a PlayStation 2 game or you pick up a PlayStation game, and you know what's funny? There was no updates. That was the entire game, and it was, it would run smoothly. It would, there'd be a glitch here and there, but you didn't have to install it, which I understand why you have to install it, but you didn't install it and then get, here is a 20 gigabyte update, of something we missed or something have you done. I'm like, great. So I've just spent an hour waiting for it to install, and now I have to wait another hour for my internet, depending on what kind of internet you have, to download the update for it to install the game, which, given it 2 weeks' time, you'll have another one for me. I understand the fact that, I said deadlines and everything, but there should be a law, or there should be a buffer. The fact that, your game's trash, go take it back. We ain't releasing it onto the public. We can't, you can't do that. Or you have a disclaimer saying, hi, this game is broken. Please bear with us. And, if you do something like that, obviously not that type of sentence, but if you did something like that, like, if someone who was a diehard fan bought it, wouldn't go, oh, okay, I'll bear with you, which is where early access comes in handy. You can't complain, oh, this is glitchy, this is crap. Yep, because this is early access. It's work in progress. This is not a full game. This is why you haven't paid full price for it. So Surviving Aftermath is indeed an early access game. I do believe it is meant to come out at the end of this year in its full form. It's made by the same people, one of the parent companies of City Skylines, Prison Architect, and these are the kinds of games I do like. I do like that that building technique, that building aspect. Games like they're a lot of fun. That's why I like Surviving Mars as well, which is another one that they've made as well. So Surviving Aftermath, you're placed in a post-apocalyptic world, which you have to survive the aftermath. Quotation. So what you have to do is you have to build a society, or you have to build a small village, town, in which to help survive and stay afloat, with food, water, resources, clothing, tools, health, all those things. And in between, while you are doing that, you obviously have things like winter, heat wave, pandemic. First time when I was playing it and it came out with pandemic, I think I had like small PTSD because like, oh, is it COVID? Which now pandemic is just, that word is everywhere. But yeah, you have you get all those, and you get meteorites or meteor shower, if you will, as well as you do get thunderstorms, and they do give you an option as well. So, side point is they do give you an option to, obviously, which is really cool, is to give, which I know a lot of games do, is obviously give you feedback on if there's a glitch or something wrong or something to fix, or your thoughts, which is really cool. This is actually the first early access game that I actually have bought, because I, obviously, majority of the time I do play on PlayStation, and obviously I can't wait another 7 months to play this because I want to play it. Because all the reviews which I have seen have the reviews I have seen are about 50-50, and I understand why. The game is, to me, I find it a lot of fun because I do like those city building ones. I do like the surviving aspect. It's weird as in the fact that you do have that as just not something normally, like obviously like a city and stuff like that. Because then you do have people arguing, like you have to settle, and a lot of the decision making that you have to make, there isn't yes or no. There isn't right or wrong. You have to make a decision on what you think is best for the colony moving forward, which I think is another really cool aspect. So if people are fighting over food, or people fighting over something else, or we want to celebrate and have a giant feast, but we only have this much of food. Would you like to have this feast, even though they're going to have a lot of food? And obviously, that's when you do start up, then obviously you only have the basics. So you have to really. It's kind of a game that you do have to grind. You do have to grind a few deep hours into to get the ball rolling. To really get it to fully functioning society all together, which has actually been a lot of fun. Probably negative about it is I don't know if it's because I'm playing on Xbox or I've just played Ratchet and Clank, and that was 4K and looking absolutely stunning. And I've just gone to this, but I feel like the graphics could use a little bit of a tweak, like it could use a little bit of a facelift, or that's that little bit of a push up. I do feel like that they could do that. That'd be one thing I would say, is just give it a little bit more of a facelift. But it's it's really cool in the aspect of the fact that you obviously have to trade a lot to get the resources. You do have to send people out. At the very beginning, it's a lot harder, obviously, because you get these special, where you say, not super soldiers, but like colonels, lieutenants. That's probably a better thing to say. That you can send out into the world to go get resources. And at the same time is that obviously that some places will have resources, but you have to fight people for, or there'll be whole sectors that you have to fight people for that unlock. And obviously you have to, work on research to advance your colony. But so far, I think it's a solid game, and I can't wait to see the full version of it come out. I'm looking for the full version, like, or everything. If there's anything they're going to add, it's a solid game. So if you like city building, if you like the surviving aspect, if you like that multiple choice kind of thing, like, this is a good game. This is, I do believe it is. I've been really enjoying it. Dean's had a look at it, and I'm pretty sure he's going to go get it as well. And it's $40 currently on the Xbox Store, which obviously the fact that when it does fully release, you get the full version, but you don't have to pay it again, which is kind of nice. But yeah, it's a good little game, and if you like those types of prison architect, city skylines, prison architect, surviving Mars. It's a really good game, and I recommend it. So I give that 4 out of 5. And I'll give 3 out of 5 thumbs up. The only reason I give the 4th is because it's not the full game yet. So once we get the full game, I'll come back and I'll do another episode, and we'll see what it's like, see if it's anything different. But yeah, go check that out. Moving on. So, a game which I think I've mentioned in the past that I do believe is the definition of stunning, gorgeous, and is visually gorgeous. That in fact you can, here you could get the Photoshop mode, save your screenshot in the game, print that out, frame it, and people would think it's a shot that you really took, is Ghost of Tsushima. That is a great PlayStation game. See, that's a game in which, there's a lot of love, time, patience into it, and it's all been rewarded. It's it's a fantastic game. If you haven't played it already, I highly recommend it. It's Japan, samurais, all into that. It's a lot of fun. The graphics are stunning. The world they've made is stunning, which they've announced. Which is weird seeing in a video game, I must admit, is the director's cut, which you will get, if I butcher this pronunciation, I am so sorry, is IKEA? Yeah, IKEA, or no, IKE. IKI. Island, so you get a new expansion of an island, you get more storylines, they're also doing more bits and pieces of, well, not bits and pieces, but like extras, as in different horses, different weapons, different materials to add as well. And obviously for PlayStation 5 only at this stage, obviously PlayStation 5 in general is, as in it won't be PlayStation 4, it's only going to be PlayStation 5. 4K tracking, 60 frames per minute. I'm excited about this game. I'm excited to see what this extra stuff is, and see what see the 4K PlayStation 5 update. I do know that Dean and Mark are frothing at the bit when this comes out. Those guys smashed through it so quickly, and I thought, fuck, I can't keep up. So that's gonna come out, and that looks really good with the screenshots we've seen so far. And I have seen the fact that if you do the PlayStation 4 upgrade, it's about $20 a difference if you have the standard game. If you have the standard game and you're going to the PlayStation 5 upgrade, is $30 to upgrade. Which, look, with with this game, with who's been working on it, I strongly believe the fact that it is worth that money, because you're gonna get the quality of content out of that $30, opposed to sometimes you pay $30 and you get expansion pack and you're like, oh cool, a new skin. Anything else? Nope, that's it. You just paid $30 for one skin. fuck, that's a giant waste of fucking money. So you know that $30 or $20, whatever you do for the upgrading of the director's cut, is going to be well worth your money, which I strongly believe that's going to be worth every dime, every penny, every dime for that. And I think it's going to look really good, and I can't wait for that to come out and talk to you guys more about it. It's Ghost of Tsushima is another fantastic game of hitting it out the park. And what they've actually done, which is really cool, is that the people who made Ghost of Tsushima, the creators, are actually official ambassadors for the island of Tsushima. Like, what they've done, because of the game, apparently there's been donation after donation after donation pouring in to maintain and rebuild or TLC around that area, which I think is fantastic as a gaming community. What a game can do, what a difference a game can do. The funny thing is, like, a game can do that, right? A game can put that. It's not all about the fact that my kid played Grand Theft Auto and they because of that game now that they're violent, or this is why they hit somebody. Look, this is one of my biggest crimes. How when people blame video games for their child or for a human being acting out. Like, it's not the video game. It's not the video. It's never the video game. Because the fact that I understand you're playing, you have the choice, you can do those things. But in the same vein is that I can go rent a movie which is just as violent or even worse. And I can go watch that. Some people won't bat an eye, but because of the fact that you play a video game where you get that choice, it makes the entire difference. No, video games must be, if you must be treated like, all right, whoever that person is, child or, whatever form is, like, will this video game good or bad? Should you be playing this? That's the responsibility that you should have. If you don't want to see that stuff, or if you don't want to play that stuff, then don't play it. Don't buy it and play it, then complain. Or look, one thing I always get annoyed about is the fact is parents blaming video games for the kids and the violence. And if you're a parent and you're complaining that your under 18 kid is, acting out because of a video game, I'm like, okay, so why did you give them a 18 plus video game to play? Like, why aren't you monitoring to your kid? Like, why are you giving them, these 18 plus video games to play? And then why are you complaining? Like, I remember when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, that there was a thing in for Queensland, in our lovely country, of parents boycotting a store or telling a store to stop selling Grand Theft Auto 5 because of the fact that it's not kid friendly. Of course, it's not fucking kid friendly. It's a choice. So if you're telling them to take Grand Theft Auto 5 off, all right, well then take every single R-rated movie off the shelves. Oh, it's not in the same vein. Yeah, look, I've got to stop before I go into anything further, because it's a topic that I can just keep going on, and I will fight anyone and I'll debate anyone on that topic. But yes, in light, that is a positive, good vibes of a wholesome content of what a video game can do. And I would hope it would happen more often in video games and stuff like that, and what it can do for, a community or a place or anything in the entire world. But yeah, guys, I hope you go check that out. I can't wait for it to come out. I did post on my Instagram a full breakdown on all of the little tidbits that it will be coming out on that, as well as I did a full breakdown on my Instagram, as well as all the little extra Easter eggs on Loki that I did miss. So if you guys want to go check that out, thank you for everyone joining with me today. And until next time.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.